What's up, y'all? It's Cidnee Rich of Arcana ATL, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. On this channel, we do all things astrology and tarot, as well as meditations. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely stick around, definitely subscribe. And on this video, we are doing another edition of Tarot and Transits, and we're talking about Uranus in Taurus going direct. That's a planet and a sign that we haven't talked about in a minute or on this channel yet. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely stick around. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the vibes. And let's get into what this energy is with Uranus in Taurus going direct. Okay, so this transit is a little bit more of a complicated one and a little bit more of a weird one, but we love all those things because remember, we're still in Aquarius season, and Uranus is the planetary ruler of Aquarius. So definitely go back and check the Aquarius videos, the Aquarius sun video, the Aquarius new moon video, so you can get more of that understanding of that Aquarian energy that'll kind of help supplement the understanding of the planet Uranus as a whole, as it is its planetary ruler. With that being said, we're going to specifically talk about Uranus, and then let's talk about it being in the sign of Taurus, and then we're going to talk about the retrograde, and then we're going to talk about it being direct, okay? So, today it went direct, and it had been in a retrograde since September 1st. So first, like I said, Uranus, what are we doing? What are the vibes there? What is that planet? How is it affecting us? How does it interact with us? What does it rule over? What are the vibes? So it is a outer planet. Outer planets are planets that change slower. And they're also known as like generational planets because their transit is longer than like those inner planets like Mercury or Venus, right? So Uranus is an outer planet and it has a slower transit. Its transit is how long it takes to go through a sign. So its transit is about, give or take, 7-8 years, okay? So Uranus is the planet of innovation, of freedom, of rebellion, of technology. And so themes of that nature when we talk about Uranus come into play. And I love that idea because it's got this unpredictability to it that kind of, it's a little hot sauce, okay? It's a little hot sauce of the planet because you never know what you're going to get. It could be, it's a surprise. It's a surprise element type of energy, and it makes things spicy. And when it's been retrograde, that spice has been like held back. And so our life or aspects of our life have maybe felt a little bland or like muted. So going back to the fact that this rebellious, innovative, technologically driven, change driven, rebellious, I already said that, unpredictable, freedom-seeking planet, it's been in the sign of Taurus. Now, Taurus energy is completely opposite of all the things we just spoke about. Rebellious, unpredictable, change, freedom. Taurus, no. Taurus being the fixed earth sign, it likes stability, it likes security, it likes things to be reliable and you know exactly what you're gonna get. It also likes to take its time and enjoy itself and really kind of like see the vibes, feel into the vibes. I'm a fan of Taurus energy, okay? But it being in Uranus, or Uranus being in Taurus, very weird vibes here, okay? It's kind of like oil and vinegar, or like, I'm trying to think of like a musical reference, but it would come to me naturally if I need to share that. But like, it's this idea of like, what are these two things doing together? That's weird. Like, that's weird, right? It's like that type of energy. So with that, you can imagine that the past 7 years with this transit going on, it's been a little weird for how the energy is kind of reflecting on the collective and how it might be reflecting personally in your life. So we'll get into like how to look at that in a second. But from there, I said we were going to talk about the planet Uranus. So we chatted about some things, how that some keywords, some attributes. Taurus, we talked about that. Slow, sturdy. It likes to take its time and enjoy itself. It's also the ruler of the second house in astrology, which talks about our money, our assets. You could also put like stocks and bonds and things of that nature, financial things into that house. But it also speaks to our values. So what we care about, what we uphold, what we covet as like how we want to live our life and what we like stand for. You know, I kind of also look at Taurus energy as integrity and what you will fight for, what you will stand your ground on. Like Taurus has a lot to do with like how we show up in our physical world and what matters to us. And with that, the other side of that is like we like to enjoy ourselves while we're here in the physical. So what brings us pleasure and what brings us a sense of comfort, okay? And it's also a very like sensual sign. It likes to really get into the details of how something feels or how it was created or how it all comes together. And so that very physical sign is being affected by this unpredictable planet. And the past 7 years might have felt a little bit like a whirlwind when it comes to where Taurus specifically is in your chart and or where your Uranus is, right? Take a look at that. You can definitely book a reading with me if you want more understanding on how to like navigate your birth chart. But essentially, you can just look at like if you have any Taurus placements, look at that. Also, just find what house or what sign your Uranus is in, because everyone has that. And kind of take a look at like how that might have been showing up in your life and how you can kind of like see that reflected. So I'll use myself as an example because that's the easiest way to explain astrology a lot of times when you're using examples that people can understand and touch and feel and be like relate to, right? So I'll be using myself as an example once I go through all the components. So we talked about Uranus, we talked about Taurus energy, and then I said it went direct, which means it was retrograde. When a planet goes retrograde, it is seemingly slowing down. And therefore, the energy that is outputting, it kind of turns inward. You know, it's a little shadowed. It's kind of like veiled. It's not at its like brightest, biggest kind of expression of itself. It's a much more kind of quiet, subtle energy. So this big, unpredictable, freedom-seeking planet has kind of been like veiled, so to speak, since September 1st, 2024. So it's been 5 months in this veil. So we may have felt ourselves feeling a lack of breakthroughs or a lack of momentum or change or excitement around where Taurus is in our chart. Because Taurus, although it is the slow and steady, wins the race vibe, Uranus being in it, it's still been something that has been like causing or could, you know, potentially creating a lot of like chaos or like changes and like, you know, surprises and like what is going on type of energy around that sector, even though it's in that more reliable slow sign of Taurus. So with it going retrograde, it may have given some people some peace. It may have been really boring. Your money could have slowed down substantially. Your work could have like started to be more difficult to obtain, or it could have felt like you hit a ceiling. You might not have been getting as many clients or opportunities. If you have stock or something, they could have kind of been flatlined and not much fluctuation. When it comes to like your home and like what you have investments in, you might have been like realizing something needs to shift or change in those spaces, but not really knowing or having the insight on like what that is or how to make that happen. So that is how that retrograde could be showing up. It kind of just like getting in the way of momentum and breakthrough and change and like ideas to like make something change or improve something around the sectors of Taurus. So our money, our finances, our values, our home life. And it could even be about like our appearance even. You might have been feeling like you've been in a little rut when it comes to how you look or like your hair or your whatever, your style, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. So it also has to do with like our aesthetic and beauty. If you're an artist, you might have been feeling not so inspired. You might have been feeling a little blocked in that way, or you might have tried to start something, but it really didn't catch wind, or you might have felt like you were only thinking about similar things and not having that innovative like mindset. So those are some ways that it could have been showing up for you. But like I said, looking at your specific chart will give you more specific information. If that's something you guys are interested in, definitely leave a comment. I'm happy to talk about that more. And like I said, you can also book a reading with me. But make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you can just keep up with all of the videos that come out, because the more you just like take in information around astrology, the more you learn it. And that's what I've learned from my experience. So I know that's helpful in kind of like, it's a lot of information, but the more you kind of just like get these bits and pieces, and then you start to see how they layer, and then you start to see the reinforcement when you have like multiple planets or the same sign. And so that's, astrology is a building upon itself study. So definitely if you feel like this is kind of like whoosh, oh my God, you're telling me too much, no worries. You can watch it as many times as you want, or it's just like priming you, right? So when you start to see Uranus, you can be like, rebellious, freedom energy, surprise energy. And then you can think of Taurus and you can be like, oh, Taurus, stability, pleasure, money, abundance, right? So you can start to attribute certain things to the planets, certain things to the signs, and then that way you're learning about the energy more as you interact in your day, and you can learn more about yourself, others, or what's just happening in the cosmos and how it's affecting you. So that's really the goal here with tarot and transits as a video or a creative outlet for myself, is to help you guys kind of learn through the transits over time, right? This is not like some crash course. So don't feel as if you need to understand all the words that are coming out of my mouth, because astrology is a pattern. It's going to repeat itself. And so all of these things will repeat. Planets going retrograde, planets going direct, like then you'll start to learn, oh, that's what that means, as time goes on. So that's my 2 cents there. A little bit of a tangent, but I think we talked about everything I wanted to talk about. When the planet goes direct, it means it's no longer retrograde, and now it's moving forward with all its gusto and momentum, and in this case, all its unpredictability and surprises and rebellious nature and freedom-seeking energy now is in play. So, with that being said, today, definitely, I already felt that energy. That's why I was like, I gotta come on and I gotta talk about this transit, because I've already felt it in my own life. My moon is in Taurus, and my midheaven is also in Taurus. So my highest point in my chart has been affected by this retrograde. So you could even think about as like me having like an invisibility cloak on over the past 5 months. And today it kind of like came off. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's Cidnee girl. I remember her. It's like that energy. And a lot of that's kind of happened in my life today. And it's so funny and interesting. So it really is an as above, so below vibe when we get into the astrology. And I just find it so fascinating, like truly. Okay, with all that, let's get into the tarot. What is our tarot message for this Uranus direct in Taurus that will take us all the way to Uranus changing signs into Gemini in July? So let's see what this energy is bringing us from now until July. What is Uranus? The planet of unpredictability, change, freedom, originality, rebellion, technology, innovation, surprises. What is Uranus bringing us in Taurus now that it's direct? How is our energy being affected? Okay, we have the Ace of, this is funny, Ace of Swords reverse. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. So I was talking about like a veil or like a shadow. So over the past 5 months, we might have been feeling particularly uncertain, confused, unable to get a clear vision on what it is that we're wanting or how it is that we want to move forward with something or what it is that we truly value or how we're going to make our money back or how we're going to make more money or what really makes us feel comfortable and what really makes us feel stable. And like maybe we've been in a rut and we're not sure how to change that. So that's why this Ace of Swords is coming up reversed here, because there's been a block in our ability to kind of think for ourselves in a way that gets us out of a place that we've felt stuck in. Right? And that makes sense with Uranus. It wants some change, right? And mentally with it being reversed and in Taurus, we felt stuck and not clear. Like, I don't know what I'm thinking because as we know, Uranus rules Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign, so it does have a lot to do with our mindset. So I do feel that this Uranus going direct is much more about our mindset being freed, changed, us feeling completely different about something that might be surprising because we weren't expecting that because we've been in this like weird rut for 5 months, okay? So with that, I see we have the Six of Swords here. And this is moving us on the other side of this rut. So love that. This is about coming to a place where it's like, you know what? I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to move on from the thing that was causing me all this conflict or like frustration or confusion. I can start to see things differently now, or I start to see that I do want change now and I'm open to that. So there's this peace that's coming in for us between now and I feel, and as this cycle finishes doing its thing in Taurus, I feel a peace. I feel mentally being like, you know what, I can change things and I'm ready to change things and I'm ready to move on because where I've been has been turbulent and chaotic, and you know what, change is good. So that's what I feel like this transit is bringing us. It's bringing us much needed change because yes, we've been a little too stuck in our ways with the Four of Pentacles coming out. This is the sense of feeling secure and being fearful to step outside of what we know to be safe. It's our comfort zone. So we're now being asked to move beyond our comfort zone, and the energy is supporting that now because we can see clearly that something's got to change. We can't keep doing the same thing. And now that Uranus is direct, we might be having more innovation pop into our brain, aha moments, epiphanies that, oh, I see. I've been keeping myself small because I've been scared to step outside my comfort zone, but that comfort zone's making me feel stuck and in a rut. And I'm ready to get on the other side of that so I can actually feel like I'm moving forward in my life. I love that. Look, and the 9 of Cups. So this is bringing us some joy, some happiness, and at the very least, a sense of content energy. You know, when things go retrograde, it can kind of feel uncomfortable because we can feel like uneasy, like something, like I said, something's got to change. I don't know what needs to change, but something. And so now that we have this direct energy, we have this ability to see things more clearly and see like, okay, this is actually what I care about. This is what I value, Taurus, right? This is what I want to see move in this direction, and I want to see where it can go, and I'm willing to take a risk or a gamble now because I have more of a desire to be happy and to actually feel fulfillment and excitement around however this applies in your life specifically. So I'll use myself as an example. My moon, which is my soul, which is my emotions. I am so ready to feel alive again in my emotional space and not feel so stuck or confused about what it is that I truly want and what I truly value and what matters to me. And also when it comes to my finances, it's like I know what I want to do when it comes to my work, right? My moon is in my 9th house. The 9th house in astrology is the house of spirituality. So I know that my soul's calling is to do this work. And now I feel like I have more clarity on how to make moves and change my reality to reflect what I truly want to be doing in my soul, and actually start to see changes in my finances or changes in my motivation around going and seeking and getting those those financial opportunities or however they may come about. So I love to see that we have this moving on energy. We're moving on. We're ready to see what else is out there. We're willing to step outside of our comfort zone with this transit because we want to be more fulfilled. And we're tired of being in that rut. And the King of Swords here is telling us, I'm ready. I can handle this and I want to see what's up. I like this energy because it's an energy of taking control, command. It also has that Uranian energy with it being swords, with it being air. And so it's like, even though when things get unpredictable and they change and we may have surprises come up that we weren't seemingly ready for, the King of Swords is like, oh no, we're ready for this. And we have the wisdom with the owl here of what to do during this transit the next couple of months. Like, I've been waiting for this change, and maybe I didn't know how it was going to come into my life, but now that it's here, I know that I have the wisdom and the understanding of self to operate and move in a way to work with these changes that are really going to create and increase the value that I am seeing every day in my life and who I am and how I want to be. So that is what's coming through for me for the energy here. I know this is a little bit of a out of the box energy, and it can feel a little confusing with all the information, especially depending on your level of understanding of astrology. But that's why I'm here to help you through these videos. So like I said, let me know if there's anything else that you guys are interested in and you might want to see me explain more in detail and break it down and just specifically focus on that. If you like this video, definitely like it. Comment if you made it to the end. Put a lightning bolt because I always think of lightning when I think of Uranus energy. And I hope this remaining months of Uranus being in Taurus brings you something of value and substance and changes your life in a way that really makes you feel a lot of pleasure and happiness and like, you know what? The future is bright. See you guys later.